Hello, this is Lorraine Jamison, and this is GoReact quiz number 6. So the first problem was using the auxiliary formula, find the solution to the equation y double prime minus y prime plus 6y is equal to 0. This equation is not factorable, so you have to use the quadratic formula to find what m is equal to. So m squared minus m plus 6 is equal to 0. So you use m is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So after plugging that in, you get 1 plus or minus the square root of 23 over 2, which simplifies down into 1 half plus or minus this I times the square root of 23. And then using this equation right here, y equals c1 cosine beta x plus c2 sine beta x e to the alpha x, you just plug in the values. So alpha in this case is equal to 1 half and beta is equal to square root of 23. So you just plug that all in for yc is equal to e to the 1 half x times the quantity of c1 cosine square root of 23 of 23x plus c2 sine square root 23x. The next problem was to find the general solution using the annihilator equations of y double prime minus y prime plus 6y is equal to 18x squared. So it's the same deal as above. You can't factor this equation. So you have to use a quadratic formula, and since it's the same as above, it's just the same work. And so your y complementary is equal to yc. Yc is equal to c1 cosine square root of 23x plus c2 sine square root of 23x, and then that x is outside the square root. I just wrote it badly. So the second step to the annihilator is finding how your g of x can be annihilated. So 18x squared is annihilated by d cubed, and that's because x's are annihilated when the degree of d is 1 higher than the x. So then you multiply both of these together to get d cubed times the quantity of d squared minus d plus 6. And then you can write your equation all together. So this is what we're going to be looking at, c3 plus c4 of x plus c5x squared. And this is because at this point m is equal to 0 because you're looking just at d cubed. And so when you plug in 0 to the formula, you get e to the 0x, which is equal to 1. So I just simplified it all down to c3 plus c4x plus c5x squared. And then the next step is to just set up your equations. I substituted a, b, and c for c3, c4, c5. So yp is equal to a plus bx plus cx squared. So y prime is equal to b plus 2cx. And then y double prime is equal to 2c. So you just plug that into this initial equation up here. So 2c minus the quantity of 2cx plus b plus 6a plus 6b plus cx squared is equal to 18x. So cx squared, you find like terms, so cx squared is equal to 18x squared. So that's pretty easy. You just divide both sides by x squared and 6 to get c is equal to 3. And then you just combine similar degrees. So you have negative 2c plus 6b right here is equal to 0. And then 2c minus b plus 6a is also equal to 0. So you just fill in what you know, and you substitute. So negative 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and obviously b is equal to 2. And then once again, you just substitute into this last equation to get a is equal to negative 2/3. So your final equation is just the combination of y of c and y of p. So you get y is equal to c1 cosine square root of 23x plus c2 sine square root of 23x minus 2/3 plus 2x plus 3x squared. Thank you.